What do you think matters more, the Fed or the whole truckload of tech earnings this week? Because I think you can make an argument for both. I mean, one, we're talking about the breadth that's expected to come back into markets this year and whether we're arguably seeing some of that now, versus tech that's been carrying the market higher, and there was this dispersion towards tech, and we've got the likes of Alphabet, Microsoft, Amazon, Apple, Meta all on the ticket this week. So which is actually more important for markets this week?
Well, I mean, it's a toss-up. I mean, as you say, those are just hugely important contributors to market form. I mean, these businesses are the dominant businesses. I wouldn't necessarily say they're priced for perfection, but they're priced for some very, very good news. And, you know, generally in the past, they've sort of lived up to those expectations. But of course, there won't take much of a miss for those stocks to wobble. And, you know, of course, the Fed is hugely important. So, Karen, I don't know which is more important. They're both hugely important.
Yeah, I respect you more for saying that rather than coming up with some convoluted reason why one or t'other. I mean, yeah, it was funny when you were asking that. I was trying to construct an argument in my head, and I was like, well, you're absolutely right. It's a toss-up, isn't it? But in terms of the performance of markets, and I'm interested in where people put their money. We've had a really good run. I mean, Eurostoxx is up 3% last week. Even the FTSE, the dear old FTSE, joined the party last week as well. US stocks, we're talking about multi-year highs and what have you as well. So there's no breather being priced into the markets. And yet a lot of people coming across this desk saying maybe we do need a breather as well. What are your thoughts about in terms of your positioning at the margin? Obviously, you like the market. Net, you are invested in the market. But yeah, should the market be taking a bit of a breather given all these concerns?
Well, the market could well take a breather. Very difficult to time that one. As we said, yeah, some disappointment on tech earnings, maybe a little hawkishness, relative hawkishness from the Fed. You know, that would trigger that breather. But in terms of positioning at the margin, I guess it sort of depends where you're coming from. Having enjoyed a nice sort of US equity tailwind, I think we're sort of moving towards sort of the UK stock market rotating a little bit there. Even emerging markets, which where the sentiment I know is really low. I'm well aware of that. But yeah, so the UK and emerging markets are getting the marginal investment within our portfolios at the moment.
I'll revisit the UK because there is a great example on our board at the moment, BP. Let's have a look at the performance of BP this morning. 1.8% higher. Questions being asked of the new CEO about, or the permanent CEO, I should say, it's still the same CEO as he was in the interim, about what he's going to do with the oil and gas portfolio compared with renewables as well. But on a different level, you're talking about the UK looks a decent place to absorb some US profits. Well, BP is a great example of a company that trades at a discount to US peers, but does absorb a lot of US profits as well. Just to talk us through that idea about the UK being a decent place to park some money.
Well, I mean, clearly there is a valuation case, something that's been said, I don't know, for 37 years now, but certainly a very long time, the valuation case.
Which is pretty much coincidentally roughly how long I've been in the market. Yeah.
Right. But look, I know viewers, investors can sort of roll their eyes a little bit at the valuation case, but it's certainly appealing. And if it's coupled with some slightly better than expected UK economic news, then that's certainly a help. And I think we got some of that last week. We know that the UK market isn't one for one with the UK economy, far from it, but it's certainly a contributor. Yeah, coupled with an inflationary, fading inflationary pressures, and the Bank of England, we would anticipate come summer pivoting to more accommodative policy. That would be encouraging as well. I also think, clearly the UK isn't loaded with these sort of tech names that the American market is, but there's something of a disservice there for some of the businesses. You think about, well, Next or Pearson or something. There's some great sort of technology elements to their business that the market just doesn't necessarily give them credit for.